Hey everyone, it's Connor Mitchell and welcome to another episode of 24 Days of Tech-Cember. Today we're looking at the top 5 4K cameras you can get for under $1,000. So anyway, let's not waste any time and let's get right into the top 5. Sony is the first camera on this list with the Sony RX100 Mark V coming in just under $1,000. Sony has built much success on their RX100 Mark IV, and they continue to build on that foundation with the Mark V. The Mark V brings a new autofocus system, which besides bringing 315 autofocus points to this camera, also brings a super fast hybrid autofocus system, which allows this camera to lock focus in as little as 0.05 seconds. This camera is also packing a 1-inch 20 megapixel back illuminated CMOS sensor, which is obviously great for low light images. It also has a 3-inch vari-angled screen which can swing all the way to the front, so that way you can record videos of yourself or you can take selfies with this camera. And of course you can take 4K video on this camera, but you can also grab 8 megapixel stills from these videos and store them on the camera as separate files. Next on the list is the Panasonic LX10, coming in at just $700. This camera takes the aperture all the way down to f1.4, so that way you'll be able to get some crazy depth of field photos or be able to shoot in really low light. This camera is also a great camera to get macro shots, as you can focus on objects that are as close as 3 centimeters. 4K video is obviously on this camera, but there's also an added bonus that you can shoot 1080p video at a ridiculous 120 frames per second for super slow motion. But possibly the coolest feature of this camera has to be a feature they call focus stacking. This allows you to take a picture of something and change the focus even after you've taken the photo. The way this works is that the camera will take several photos with several different focuses, and you just tap in the area of the photo where you want the camera to focus. Or you can just choose to merge them all and get a photo that has everything in focus. The Nikon DL Premium 24 to 500mm comes in just under $1,000 and also brings along that incredible 24 to 500mm lens, so that way you can get some incredibly awesome photos no matter how distant you are from the subject. Nikon has also brought many of their interfaces and many of their controls that you find on their DSLRs to this camera, including similar menus, a customizable function button, and the ability to shoot RAW. The hardware is also compatible with many accessories that would fit a Nikon DSLR, including the Nikon speed lights and a lens hood. Also, thanks to SnapBridge, you will be able to send photos directly from this camera over to your smart device without having to sync them to a computer first, making it that much easier to get photos from your camera online incredibly quickly. The Panasonic LUMIX FZ300 comes in at just $600, but still packs many of the features that can be found on the other cameras on this list. Panasonic gave this camera a lens that zooms from 25mm to 600mm and has an aperture that goes from f2.8 to f4.5. It also packs a 5-axis hybrid optical image stabilizer, so that way it will be able to stabilize your camera in 5 different types of movement while you are taking photos and video. And this camera is also splash proof and dust proof, which makes it a perfect companion for when you are shooting in non-studio environments. Finally, the one camera on this list that many of you may not think it belongs, but it still makes the cut since it records full 30 frames per second 4K video, the GoPro Hero 5 Black. Now, this being an action camera, the GoPro Hero 5 Black will be able to do many things that the other cameras on this list will not be able to do, such as underwater recording and shooting in harsher environments. GoPro has added a screen to the back of their high-end GoPro, so not only will you be able to see what you're recording, but you will now have access to a much better menu system than on the previous generations of GoPros. But if menus aren't your thing, this GoPro also has voice controls, so that way you can just tell this GoPro when you want to record a video or when you want to take a picture. And coming in at just $400, the GoPro Hero 5 Black takes its place as the cheapest 4K camera on this list. So anyway everyone, those are my top 5 4K cameras that you can get this holiday season. Make sure you subscribe to Dragon Rider Network for more 24 Days of Tech-Cember. Anyway, I've been Connor Mitchell, and I will catch you all at the next top 5. See you then.